Hey guys, and thanks for joining me in this video. I haven't been feeling so well, so I haven't had a lot of time to prepare for this video. However, I thought I'd give you guys an update on this week, on some of the highlights and some of the things that has happened, as well as what I expect to happen over the next week. So, as a start, we've hit 500 billion or half a trillion market cap for the entire crypto space. And this is a massive milestone. The main things I want to cover in this video is the rumor around Ripple being added to Coinbase and the rise and the reason for that rise, IOTA and its recent run up, as well as Ethereum, last but not least Litecoin, and of course where we can expect Bitcoin to run up this week. Alright guys, so let's start with the market as a whole. We can see that most altcoins today are in the positive. A lot of green in the top 100 coins, which is great. Over the last 24 hours, most of the trading has been Bitcoin, with the majority at 42%. Ripple and Ethereum, as well as Litecoin, running in second, third, and fourth with relatively close volume traded. Now, we've had a massive run in the last few weeks now, especially in the last week. A lot of people holding altcoins would have made 50% gains, and a lot of people have doubled or even tripled their money. So this is just indicative of how high we've gone. So this is a chart excluding Bitcoin. We were at 22 billion, and recently we've run, I really thought we'd have a pullback at 150, but we've continued to go parabolic, and market cap is 230 billion, as well as Bitcoin has just had a massive run. So we hit a milestone this week, topping out above $500 billion. So 540 billion is where we're at currently, and only about a month ago we were at 190 or so billion. So I'm going to talk about Ripple, so one of the altcoins that has done really well this week. Now, there was a rumor going around Twitter saying that these three coins, so Dash, Ripple, and Monero, might be added to Coinbase in early 2018. That has created, I don't think this is legitimate. However, this rumor here has definitely had a little bit of an impact, I would say, on the recent run up to Ripple, and this might be one of the explanations as why these coins have done quite well. I mean, I thought Ripple was due for a run up, considering it has underperformed most coins, and I think it was just a matter of time before some money would be rotated over to other cryptos, and being in one of the top 5, it was just a matter of time in my honest opinion. We saw Ripple at 22 to 23 cents for some time. In the past 2 or 3 days, we saw Ripple run up as high as 82, or what's this? Yeah, 83.7 cents at its peak, and it sort of dipped a little, and since then it's sort of in this equilibrium pattern. Where Ripple is going to go, basically, if you've held at 20 cents, you're doing great, congratulations. I would continue to hold. If you have a huge holding in Ripple, then you might consider taking some profits, but otherwise I would be holding. If it does get listed on Coinbase and it's not just a rumor, we can easily see Ripple double or 3 times its money and be well on its way to $2 or $3. However, we also saw that IOTA recently came out saying that, well, actually Microsoft came out clarifying that it wasn't in fact exactly a partnership between IOTA and Microsoft, and that created a bit of a pullback. And I think this is something that might also happen to Ripple if Coinbase clarifies that they won't be listing Ripple in the near future. Now, another coin that's done really well is Ethereum. There was news that the UBS, a bunch of really large Swiss banks, including UBS, Barclays, Credit Suisse, KBC, six, and Thomson Reuters. These are a bunch of big banks basically saying that they will be building on top of the Ethereum network and utilizing that, and as a result, we've seen a massive run up. So I'll leave this as a link for you guys in the description if you want to have a read. But we saw Ethereum top out here at 750 from memory, and that was a run from 450 to 750, so that's nearly about an 80% gain. So having had a large holding in Ethereum, I was pretty happy with that run up. I think Ethereum will continue to do well, but honestly, I had hoped that it was going to stay under 650 so I could continue to accumulate, but we'll continue to see how Ethereum will go. Now, this is something also really interesting. Apparently, Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin are being considered or brought to Bloomberg terminals, which means that Wall Street will have basically ways to trade in, basically trade these altcoins. Now, Dash has quietly gone up to $930 too, and up until recently had a massive run up to about 750, and it's been consolidating right around the 600 mark, and it has just continued its trend upwards, and it will be one of the third coin that will reach $1,000, so that will be interesting. So we continue to watch that. So we definitely have to talk about Litecoin. So anyone who bought Litecoin around the $120 and $130 point has seen at least as a 2x, and that's a massive gain. So a lot of this, I believe, has just been a lot of new investors coming onto Coinbase and basically looking at Bitcoin, and the mentality might be that Bitcoin is too expensive right now, and as a second or third option, people are putting their money into Litecoin as well as Ethereum. I discussed Litecoin a little bit in my last video, and we can see that Litecoin topped out at $300. So just less than 6 weeks ago, we were trading around $50, and maybe about 2 weeks after that, it doubled to around 100. There was a lot of resistance at 100. After it broke out 125, it was blue skies, and we just saw this massive increase all the way up to 300. So in a very short time, anyone holding Litecoin is doing really well. So it's been an incredible week for anyone holding these top altcoins. Now, NEO is another coin that has done really well. In the past week, it's made just over 45% and 45% gain. It was sitting right around the $32 mark, and now it's at $50. And I think with news, it will continue towards $100. I currently don't hold any NEO, but it looks like a good investment. Now, I touched on IOTA earlier. It is an investment that a lot of people are interested in, and recently we saw it run up all the way up to $5. Now, I haven't looked too much into IOTA, but my understanding is that it is built on an architecture known as Tangle, and where is it? Yeah, the Tangle. And this framework is basically a lightweight framework that will allow for zero fee transactions, and it's a way to store and transfer data through encryption on the Tangle network. It's tamper-proof, it requires authentication, and it's quite efficient in that way. It also boasts other features like voting and being able to send sensitive messages, masking them. So where is it? Yeah, mask messaging, and basically this is good for valuable and sensitive information. And the other major thing is it being the internet of all things, so it can be used for appliances, things like drones, tools, and mostly being used as leasing services. So my understanding of this is maybe you have a drone and you can lease out the footage, or you can lease out the product, and basically benefit from a peer-to-peer network in all sorts of applications. Now, this is the article I was talking about earlier. IOTA dropped 15% following the clarification of Microsoft's misunderstanding. Most people thought that it was an official partnership, but really it was more of a collaboration and agreement of working together. But either way, IOTA has had a massive run. So anyone who purchased IOTA roughly around the $3 or $3.50 mark has made a pretty good gain, and anyone who's held before the 4th of December around the dollar mark has seen 3 or 4 times their gain. I personally would be looking to purchase IOTA between $2.50 and $3, but honestly I'd have to do a bit more research, just as I don't understand it so well. And also my biggest concern is IOTA is currently only listed on, I believe, Binance, which I've used before to purchase QuantStamp, but other than that, I don't particularly like the interface, but it seems to be pretty efficient. The charting is not so good, and the other place you can purchase it is from, I believe, Bitfinex. And with the whole Tether issue, I'm also staying away from Bitfinex. Now, the last but not least, I want to touch on Bitcoin. And I think there will be a lot of attention going back into Bitcoin this week, especially in the next 2 or 3 days as we move closer towards CME futures. And I think there is speculation that's building up. CBOE has given us an indication as to what might happen, and it might be a non-event. However, I think with CME being the largest futures, or one of the largest futures out there, there definitely will be some volatility as well as movement. My tip, I know previously I said that I was expecting it to go down. However, the trend is still bullish, and it's looking like it will continue upwards, but it's really hard to say at this point. So we saw Bitcoin top out at 17,700, had a minor pullback around December 10th because a lot of people were bearish on the CBOE futures. However, the minute it was launched, it just bounced straight back up, and we saw 15,000, and it went as high as 17,500 again. And since then we've had a pullback, and it's really just traded sideways. But in the last 48 hours, I'm starting to see a lot of momentum and also a lot of volume coming back into Bitcoin. So whether this is an indication of people selling their alts and moving over to Bitcoin, it is just something we'll have to see over next week. But personally, I'm holding some Bitcoin now. I've shaved off some profit from the altcoins, and it might not be a bad time to consider selling some of your altcoins, for Bitcoin in anticipation of the futures. However, I would say that the altcoins may continue to rise, so it's really up to you guys. This is not intended as financial advice. However, from what I can see, if we look here, we can see from here to here, using the top end there, and from the bottom here, we can see an ascending triangle that's building. And now I don't do a lot of technical analysis, just because I don't have a deep understanding of a lot of the indicators like the RSI, simple moving average, and the rest of these things, as well as a lot of the terms used like the rising dojos and or the linger here. However, I am slowly trying to make sense of it, and I think a lot of these indicators don't always apply to Bitcoin. However, it can help us understand where the market is going. So often when Bitcoin trades in this ascending triangle, often when it comes towards the end of the triangle, it will either break above or break below, but it is more likely to break above, I believe, in this scenario. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys have taken something away from this video. Again, as always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching my videos. Without you guys, I wouldn't have anybody to make videos for. So thanks for that, and like my videos, subscribe, share them with your friends if you think they'll benefit from it. And if you have any ideas for me of what sort of videos you'd like to see in the future, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.